Strax, if you wouldn't mind.
Shush.
Doctor?
Doctor, what's happened?
I've fallen down the fucking stairs, you silly cow!
Alright, fucking fucking hell, fuck. Here we go. When a mysterious Mary Poppins-esque Scott appeared at the end of the terrible premiere of the 8th series Deep Breath, I remember thinking, who is this strange woman? She says she knows the Doctor. Could it be the devious Rani? Perhaps a previous companion scored by the Doctor's departure, or some other long-lost acquaintance or baddie dug up from an obscure classic saga, the ilk of which even I haven't ventured into yet. The one character I really hoped she wasn't was the Master. Why? Because I'm a fucking sexist, right? No, what really bothered me was... it was bloody obvious. A Time Lordian, sinister, smiling, well-spoken supervillain. I gave the writers more credit than they were worth. My first thought was, it can't be the Master, because that would be way too obvious and totally uninteresting. No, I was predicting the end of the series reveal as some slow-burning, meticulously crafted, sneaky ploy that would shock and amaze, introducing us to a whole new branch of wacky sci-fi joy. I was ready for the show to take me somewhere new, some far-off corner of the universe that even the Doctor himself hadn't travelled to yet. But instead we got the Master again. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Master, but now he has a vagina. Great. That makes him way better. The point that I'm trying to make is that changing a character's gender just for the sake of it is cheap and lazy writing. Changing something as integral to a personality in the bat of an eye is literally just bad character development. My biggest problem with the new Doctor is not what reproductive organs she has, but surprisingly, it's Peter Capaldi. And the word is gimmick. Towards the end of Matt Smith's reign back in 2000 whenever, people started wondering who would be the next to inherit the TARDIS keys. And the buzz was that this time it would be someone old. The whole throwback thing being popular at the time, fans were keen to see the Doctor back to his roots. Just like the William Hartnell episodes, right? Remember when he accidentally got engaged to some old Aztec woman? How about rubbing shoulders with Kublai Khan? And do you remember when he's climbed inside that Dalek?
I am the Master!
Oh, that Dalek, oh. Yeah, that was good times. The problem was, the writers didn't want an old character. They wanted their show to be fast-paced, quippy, action-packed, sexualized, and above all else, hip. None of these really scream old man. The only hip that goes with old men that I know is usually made of metal. So in order to appease the fans, they went ahead and cast Peter Capaldi. I honestly think this was one of the worst casting choices of all time. Capaldi's Doctor is off-putting, occasionally heartless, and downright stupid at times.
Those pretend people you shoot at in computer games. Now you know.
Know what?
They think they're real. They feel it. We feel it.
In fact, most of his episodes are about him being wrong and having to bow down to his assistant's superior ethical abilities. He just acts like an arsehole. Which wouldn't be a problem if this was his character. William Hartnell was a cunt sometimes. Find that with his weird, youthful attitudes and quirks. There's just something generally creepy and unappealing about it. Imagine an old man acting like a little boy. This to me is clear evidence of the writers designing Capaldi's character based on what the fans wanted rather than on what the Doctor needed to be. The Doctor has always changed per regeneration, but only in digestible increments based on where they wanted to take the character next. Peter Capaldi's regeneration was so jarring, his character so different to Matt Smith's, that they had him fucking ring up Clara from the past just to ensure the audience that everything was going to be okay, despite Capaldi's unappealing character and presence. Let me clarify that none of this is a comment on Capaldi's acting ability. Before he was the Doctor, he was one of my favourite British actors. He excels at being a fucking cunt. I mean, look at him from probably the best episode of Skins.
Can't they hide under your woman, eh?
Fuck off out of my house, you miserable Scottish cunt.
Even his earlier role in Torchwood, when he's not swearing at people constantly, he's cold, intense and ghoulish. Just exactly what the Doctor shouldn't be. And yet, they tried to make him this anyway. My only reasoning behind why they cast him in the first place is that they wanted an older actor, but not too old. You don't need any Harrison Ford style incidents on a Doctor Who set. They needed someone who looked old too. Capaldi only in his late 50s when they cast him. He looked about 100. I mean, look at him! I honestly think they picked him just because of his age, and because he's a BBC regular and a recognisable British TV personality. Point is, Capaldi was a gimmick. Then they spent the next 3 years trying to figure out exactly what his character was. Circling back around to Miss Jodie Whittaker. Whether you like it or not, she's a gimmick. It's impossible for her not to be at this point. Now, before you jump down my throat, I agree. A gimmicky character can work, when backed up with genuine interest in the character developing in an authentic and understandable way. I'm definitely glad to hear that Stephen Moffat is out the door. However, I suspect that he's left enough turds around the office that the show will probably still smell of him for a period. Maybe I'll write a longer review on why I hate him so much one day. Here are my fears and predictions for the new character. Number 1. No one will care that the Doctor is a woman now. There's a popular idea going around that no one should care that the Doctor is a woman. It's not a big deal, get over it. This idea of people brushing the issue aside because they have the moral high ground by wanting equality is not acceptable when considering good writing. My biggest fear is that the Doctor will have little or no reaction to the change. Gender politics aside, this should be a huge deal within the show. The Doctor has been male for over 2,000 years now, according to Capaldi. Irrelevant of his attitudes or intellect, he's never been a woman before. It will just be strange if he isn't at all interested or confused about this completely unknown and abstract experience. It should be the arc of the upcoming series, really, but they'll probably just brush it under the rug with a passing comment like, "Oh, this is new, groovy," and then probably never mention it again. Number 2, the writers won't be able to help themselves from smugly writing quips about how progressive they're being. For me, this is another problem the show has, and we'll likely still be seeing this for years to come. That's the writers being too aware of their audience. Pandering, you'd call it. Writers trying to reward one demographic and in doing so alienating a large portion of their audience. Yes, a lot of Doctor Who fans are passionate advocates for LGBTQ rights. No, it's not interesting that Bill's a lesbian. We've had scores of gay characters in Doctor Who over the years. Remember Russell T Davies? It's not a big deal if a Doctor Who companion is gay, so why do we need to be reminded by Bill in almost every episode that she's not into dick? Think I'm exaggerating or being homophobic?
Why'd you come to my lectures when you're not a student?
Okay, so my first day here, in the canteen, I was on chips. There was this girl, student, beautiful, like a model. It's not like that.
You need to keep your eye on men.
Men aren't where I keep my eye, actually. Sorry, you're not my type. Just, I tend to go for girls, usually, so.
Oh.
I have very strict rules about men.
Probably not as strict as mine. Lucius, right, yeah, listen, there's, something I should explain.
What?
This is probably just a really difficult idea. I don't like men.
It's just unnecessary. You're not being progressive. Stop patting yourselves on the back. What does sexuality have to do with time travel and aliens anyway? Number 3, the Doctor will be perfect. This is a big one and probably would be the worst way they could take it. And honestly, I really think they're probably gonna do it. Now that the Doctor is a feminist icon and a female, my fear is that the writers will be unwilling to fault her. We've seen this before over the years. The Doctor has saved the world / galaxy / universe / all known realities so many times that he's achieved almost godlike status. Supporting characters treat him with fan-like admiration, and I think I've made it pretty clear how I feel about fans. The truth is, what makes Doctor Who so appealing as a character is that he's meant to be a classic underdog, or Columbo-like character if you will. He was originally a decrepit old, weird-dressed man, and no one takes him seriously. He wasn't trouncing around telling everyone how great he was. The secret to a great hero is humility. Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith were both guilty of being a bit too perfect at times, with no one really questioning their authority ever. I mean, President of the world? How up your own butt can you go? William wouldn't have stood for such nonsense. If you want to convey a feminist message and give the Doctor something to fight for, maybe throw a little sexism her way, eh? Could be interesting. I doubt we'll see it though. Alternatively, they could push it too far in the other direction and really hit the audience over the head with it. Remember Ghostbusters? We all know how that turned out. Poor Feig was so busy letting women stand on him that he forgot to put any jokes in the movie. Seriously, if anyone can quote me a joke from the new Ghostbusters, I'll send you $100. Now, I know a lot of people are upset about the Doctor being a woman, and a lot of people are upset about the fact that people are upset about the Doctor being a woman. The fact is, you're never gonna please everyone. To those who think it's wrong, you're entitled to your own opinion. But quit harassing people just because you think something will be bad. Speculate all you like, but quit acting like it's the end of the world. The fucking show hasn't even come out yet. You don't know for sure what it's going to be like until you've seen it. Angry women. I know you're pumped because you get to see one of your own play the lead role in something you like. But quit pretending like this is some kind of feminist revolution. It's not. It's just a ploy by a stale show to drag in some new viewers. Feminism means equality, which means you shouldn't care whether the Doctor's a man or not. A real step for feminism would be if this happened without everyone freaking out about it, how it's the best thing ever. People will always be critical of change, especially when dealing with something that's been beloved by so many for so long. You really thought no one would be upset over this? That small percentage of extremists and sexists does not represent everyone. It's okay if not everyone agrees with you. In conclusion, I'm not looking forward to the new Doctor Who, nor do I think this happening now is a good idea at all. However, come the new series, if Jodie and crew can convince me otherwise, I'll not only not be upset, I'll be thrilled. There's nothing I would like more to be proven wrong. It would mean I'd be getting one of my favourite shows back. Unfortunately, I just don't see it happening. Until then, everyone hold on tight and try not to be so horrible to each other. If you're having trouble, just remember, I love you, the Doctor loves you, and most of all, Billy Piper loves you.
I love you.